Greetings. My name is Todd Ravito. I am the creator of SensorCraft, and one of the feedbacks I got from the Washington, D.C. USA Science and Engineering Festival is I should make a YouTube video explaining how to install it. So here I am. Here we go. Hopefully this will help. So I'm doing this on Mac, but the process is very similar for Windows. If you try it on Windows and you still don't get it, let me know. I can make a Windows version. Anyway, the first thing you want to do is go to the GitHub site. So you just go to your browser and type GitHub, SensorCraft, or you can go to Google. Maybe we should do that, that's more common. Go to Google and type GitHub, SensorCraft. Sure enough, you go to this repository, and if you scroll down, you'll see that the latest release is right here. Always right here. But I'm on version 1.5. I recommend you get the latest version, even if you have the CD. The latest version will have more stuff on it. Typo corrections, has the rocket launch. So you just click on it, and you go to the SensorCraft version 1.5.zip. And it downloads pretty quick, which is nice. And then you want to go back to the SensorCraft page, and you'll notice that if you scroll down here, it talks about Inthought Canopy, and you want to check that out. Details are provided at Inthought's website. So Canopy is the Python environment and includes everything you need to run SensorCraft. And you'll notice there's versions here that cost money. Don't need any of those. You can buy them if you want to. They really don't help you very much. They are helpful, but more for science and engineering. If you're just getting started off programming, the free version, the Express license, is fine. So just click that download here. And you want to choose your environment, Windows, Linux, Mac, 64-bit or 32-bit. I'd stick with 64-bit Mac in this case. And you'll notice that it'll start download, and you don't have to, you can fill in the information if you want, but you don't have to, so I just say no thanks. And I watch it download, and it will take quite a bit of time because it's a large file. So the next part, we'll talk about installing those two things. Okay, you'll notice in the Downloads folder, you have SensorCraft version 1.5 and Canopy 1.7. So the SensorCraft, the Mac will download the zip file and automatically unzip it in the Downloads folder, which is nice and convenient, but you don't necessarily need that. You don't want it in the Downloads folder, so I recommend you move it up here to the Documents directory. You gotta forgive me, I have it in here, I'm just gonna delete it. But to move it, you just pick it up, drag it, copy it, release it, there it goes. All right, you'll notice that it has all the HTML files, it has the code file, code directory, everything you need. So you didn't really install it, you just drag and dropped it here. If you click this Start Here, you'll notice a new tab opens in your browser, and you can actually, read this and start here. Here's the introduction. The install is all here. So you can, do whatever you need to do right from there, right? And just from the Start Here file, just by double clicking on it. It looks a little funny because I'm shrinking my screen to make sure it fits in the window, but it should look like this, where you got the navigation bar over here and the different things over here. These are the different exercises, and the guide will walk you through changing the code, what lines to change, etc., etc. So that's how you get to that guide, is you just simply click on the Start Here.html in the SensorCraft folder. You can also check out the code, which is here. All these are code files, and we're going to explain those in a minute. And you also got the texture files, which are important. And like I said, we'll talk about those in a minute. So the next thing you want to do is install Canopy. Notice in the Canopy folder, the Downloads folder, I got a Canopy 1.7 OS X 64 DMG. So you just want to double click it. And this is very common for Macs. So you accept the license agreement, and then all you have to do is drag it over here, and you have to authenticate. which means just provide a username and password. And I'm just going to replace that. It is installing. Takes a couple minutes. Boom, and it's done. Now another thing you want to do is you want to go to the system preferences. This is really Mac only. And you want to go to security and privacy and make sure that this says anywhere. You just got to click the icon and type in a username and password that's got admin privileges and change this to anywhere. The only thing you're doing here is Canopy is just not a signed Mac App Store app, so you got to select anywhere. You might want to change it back. This is a nice security feature, but basically to get in the Mac App Store, you got to give 30% to Apple or whatever the percentage is. I don't know exactly what it is for Mac, but it's a cut, and InThought has decided not to do that. I don't totally blame them. So you just set this to anywhere. Otherwise, you'll have trouble running Canopy, which is not good. So then you want to close this window and eject the image file. Go to Applications in the Finder, and you'll see Canopy over here. And when you first run it, you'll notice it verifies it, tells you that it's from the internet. Just say open anyway. It's all good. And then it is loading. Okay, and over here it asks you gotta watch that because sometimes the window is hidden. If you want to set up your environment, and you do, right? So you want to hit continue. And then it's setting up the Canopy environment. So pretty much just set it up and then it's set accept the defaults. And then you do want to make Canopy your default Python environment unless you have other Pythons. But this is what I recommend. At that point, it starts up for you, and you'll notice it says version 1.7. No updates available, but this version is probably okay. And this is just the general welcome screen. So you want to go into the editor. The editor is where everything happens, and your Canopy looks a lot like other tools. It has your files over here, your shell down here, and your editor over here. I'll drag this over a little bit. But the shell is where you enter Python commands in the shell, and up here is your editor. And you can actually control one versus the other. You can kind of control the editor from the shell and vice versa. Python's interpreted language has a shell, allows you to inspect variables and write little snippets of code. It's very useful for that. So first thing you got to make sure is you have something called Piglet installed. And if you just type import pyglet, you press enter, and you see this error, no module named Piglet is installed, that's a bad thing. So not totally end of the world, but you just want to make sure that you get that module installed. So the easiest way to do it is just type explanation pip install Piglet, and of course you have to have internet. The explanation point means it's going to execute a command, in the bash shell. And here it is going out to the internet. It's collecting Piglet 1.24. You want to install 1.24. Don't install this from the Canopy Manager because it installs Canopy Package Manager because it installs 1.1, which is kind of old. And then you want to try that import command again. Import Piglet. Boom. So it works. So Piglet helps abstract the OpenGL, which can be complicated graphics code from the program, and just helps the kids with things. Now you want to cd into the code directory, so you can just type cd, and then tilde is your home directory, and you just slash documents, and you'll notice I just type doc, and I hit the tab key, and it fills it out for me. I could type the whole word out if I want, but I'm lazy, and I just want to type DOC, and it figures it out. And then you want to type SensorCraft, and same thing. I just type SEN tab, boom, CO tab, right? I'm in the code directory, and sure enough, I can edit main.py, and here's all the code up here, right? And I'm not going to mess with the code too much, but hit the green arrow to run, and sure enough, the game is running. Some of the screen gets cut off just because I want to make sure the YouTube video gets captured, but it does run, and it works, and you can lay out blocks. I'm going to show you one other thing. You must change the directory, otherwise it won't run right. But if I close it, and I do make some changes, I edit some things in the code, and I turn right back around, and I run it again by hitting the green arrow, you'll notice that sometimes you get this attribute error, right? And this is really annoying. I haven't quite figured this one out. And this is all happening, attribute error is all happening because something's happening with the Piglet code. It's not letting go of the OpenGL context somehow. So to fix that, you just got to restart the kernel. And it's pretty simple. Up here to run and just hit this option, restart kernel, or you can do the command period or control period in Windows. And it'll ask you want to restart, and you say yep. And you restart, and then you hit the green arrow again, and everything is right with the world, right? So now it's running just like it was before, right? So that's a good thing. And you can just put blocks down, push the number keys to change the block type. Let me see, I got some sand, some bricks, and some dirt. And that is what you do, how you run it, how you restart the kernel, and how you install it. And I think that's everything you need to know. I will, for fun here, just run one of the rocket examples. So rocket's a big hit, so type edit 07, rocket launch part 2, right? And you see the tab up here, right? And you'll notice that when I do pwd, actually in the SensorCraft code directory that I put in documents, right? That's my whole present working directory, pwd. And then you go ahead and hit the green arrow up here, and notice I get the attribute error because I forgot to reset my kernel, but I know how to fix that. Come up here, restart kernel, boom, hit the green arrow again, and what do you know? It is running, right? So to run this demo, you press O to load the rocket, and that's the rocket on the artwork, and then L to launch it, and away it goes, up and away. So pretty straightforward. Give me some feedback. If I can help in any way, I'm here to help. You'll start open issue in GitHub, or you can post comments on the YouTube video, and the rocket landed. Here to help. Let me know. Thanks.